Hello everybody, my name is Aaron aka Pulling Teeth and welcome back to the WWE Smackdown 2 Know Your Role Season Mode with two different people, if we remember it correctly. We are running as Al Snow and The Undertaker. Very weird mix, I know. And it looks like we're both booked. Triple threat match with Bossman and Steven Richards. And then in the main, a fatal four-way with Jericho, Angle and Christian. What is this card? It's been a while since we've been on this series. It seems to be a running pattern with this, that we do an episode and then there's a little bit of a break. And then, because we are in the second year running through it, we have completed the first full calendar year. So, you know, it's easy enough to take a step back every so often and bring back the series every once every once in a while when I'm not joking, ideally. Or even when I am, screw it, you know, do it while I'm choking too, who cares? Now, what mysteries are we going to get in this card? Who's going to be shitty to us, probably? Oh, feel the electricity when the People's Champ enters. Enters what? He's going to stand there awkwardly. Legs spread. Mic in the air. Is he even on the card? He's not champion anymore, if I remember rightly, in the last episode or two. We beat him for the belt, because he never showed up. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg are heading for the ring. And Dwayne's going to say something, but he's getting no subtitles. We don't know what he's saying. It is interesting how he's now showing up and getting feuds. Now he's not champion. It took so long for us to get a title shot. We got a title shot, won, and now suddenly Dwayne gets booked. Joey Habs and Crash Holly is the most 1999-2000 mid-card match you could come up with. I do love the story how Shane McMahon wanted to bring his boys in, like his friends from school and shit. And they were like, well, neither of them can wrestle. They're both kind of shit. So let's stick them with an actual wrestler, and brought up Joey Ads from Developmental. Shawn Michaels and Goldberg. Very 2003 coded. Shawn better win this. There we go. I know the Goldberg is a core, but still. Alright. Let's see if this triple threat's going to screw me over, which it probably will. Bossman and Steven Richards. Not even Stevie. It's Steven. Because he has a right to censor this shit. The right to censor was such an interesting gimmick. And I feel like it would... I don't know if it would work in a modern day. Because modern day society... It's almost like right to censor 1, if that makes sense, because there's so much with like censorship and levels of like I don't know the right way of wording it. Things were a lot more loose in the 90s, weren't they? In the 2000s, things were a lot more loose with what you could get away with and what you could say, what you could do in entertainment or just in general. Whereas nowadays, things are a lot more frowned upon. That was sweet. Knock Stevie down and pin Bossman. If that was later in the match, that would have been great. But yeah, I don't think the right to censor thing would work, because it's kind of like they were a tongue-in-cheek joke at this time. When in reality nowadays, it would be like they won. Which is kind of awkward to think about. Things are kind of going a little bit more back, because it was... Oh, Jesus. Right down the stairs. There was a point in time, I'd say from like, I don't know, maybe mid-2019, 2020, up until maybe like last year or so, about halfway through last year, where the censorship thing was so extreme. Like, it got if anybody didn't like something, not even just like the match, if anybody didn't like something, oh no, that's wrong, that needs to be censored, that needs to be gone. It went far too far into the wrong direction, and things are leaning out a little bit more now. At least in general, with that sort of stuff, where it's like, well, it's just, if it's not your cup of tea, don't watch it and don't support it. But it doesn't mean that it's not somebody else's cup of tea. There's obviously lines that you just should not cross. But yeah, things have got a little bit more lenient again. Nowhere near to the level that they were in the 90s or 2000s, but they've got a little bit better. Speaking on that sort of shit, has everybody seen the... Speaking of that shit and the going too far with it, has everybody seen the Ricochet thing recently? Where he decided it would be a great idea to mock somebody with MS. And then he was doubling down on it for ages. It's like Ricochet tried to be MJF and just entirely missed the point. He entirely missed the nuance of MJF and what MJF does. I'm not a massive MJF fan, don't get me wrong. But, at least with the shit that MJF does, like, he knows how far he can push it. He knows what he can and can't do. Whereas Ricochet is just apparently a fucking idiot and doesn't know how far he can take it and how far he can't. There was no common sense with Ricochet at all. And he ended up saying something incredibly stupid and then doubling down. And I know they're claiming that AEW management didn't tell him to apologise, he did that on his own, but I'm calling bullshit on that. I'm calling complete bullshit on that. I reckon he was 100% told, no, you need to apologise, because that is ridiculous. You went way too far. Stop mocking somebody with a serious illness. That's not right. All because they turned around and said his acting was a bit shit. And let's be real, his acting is a bit shit. It wasn't an unfair comment. But anyway, moving on with happier topics. I am kicking people's ass here. Stevie, get snow plowed. You're going to be out? You're not out. Kick your boss man down there. Damn it, he got up too quick. Oh no, and he has a finish. That was a bad move. No. Okay, caught you. Choke you out. Oh wait, that works. For some reason I didn't think submissions counted, but they did. Screw you, Stevie. Sorry, Steven. I will say your name correctly. When I tell you to screw, when I say screw you, I will make sure I say your name correct in the process. Level of respect and all that. Shane and Stone Cold. In the middle of the card. Yeah, going back on the previous topic, I thought to myself, it's like, if you want to get... You want things to be a bit more lenient in terms of what you can and can't do in terms of entertainment and stuff like that. But you need to know how far you can push it. There needs to be a line. Okay, Dwayne's being attacked. There needs to be a line and you need to understand that line. Road Dogg's really going for that ass. You need to understand that line and you need to understand your audience in terms of where that line sits with things. Like, there is definitely a too far. And looking back at the stuff from like the 90s, like the Attitude Era and parts of the Ruthless Aggression Era, WWE, like specifically, did things that definitely went too far. But then there was also a lot of other stuff where it's like, no, that's just shocking enough to not be too far, but to grab attention. But there was definitely points that were definitely too far. Beaver Cleavage, for example, was too far. even though it never actually outright went there. It was getting to the point of getting there, so they cut it very quickly, and they were right to do so. What else off the top of my head was too far? The Katie Vick stuff was definitely too far. The Kurt Angle Booker T storyline in the Ruthless Aggression era was very much too far. Bringing in the Sharmell thing, that very much too far. A lot of the Edge, Lita and Kane storyline, or was it Matt Hardy, Lita and Kane? I can't remember who. I think it was Matt Hardy, Lita and Kane at that point. But that was a lot of that was very too far. But then you've got other stuff which, wasn't. That could have been quite funny. Like the Kai and Tai Val Venis storyline was actually quite funny, but some people would consider it to be too far. You've got to find that line. You've got to find out what works with your audience. There are certain things and certain topics you just don't touch. You just leave well alone in any form of entertainment. Unless it's like serious drama where you're shining light on a topic. Pro wrestling, for example, is not serious drama. You're not shining light on a new topic. So it's very bizarre. You got to know what you're producing, know what your audience is, and know where the line is. And the line will shift and move about over time. Like I said, in that time period, in like the late 2010s to these early 2020s, the line was barely like. It was right in your face. There was barely any wriggle room in the line. It's loosened up a little bit more now. As I say, over time periods and stuff, the line will change. And you've got to keep on the pulse with that. It's like in the 2000s and early 2010s, the line was almost non-existent. I don't know how we've ended up rambling about this topic almost the entire Raw this far, but it's a topic I find incredibly interesting. Especially when you look at wrestling, because wrestling's very much like its own thing. It's like the Wild West a lot of the time. You could do and say so much in wrestling that's so out there. But it's like, should you? And how far should you take it? Once again, I think it is determined on your audience and stuff like that. But even though they're running in the same time period, I feel like WWE and AEW have different lines. Because WWE it's less so now than it was a couple of years ago, but it is still more on the family oriented, more on the PG side of things. It's, like I said, less so now than it has been for a good few years beforehand, but it is still more on that. So their line is much more visible, much closer than AEW's line is, whereas AEW's audience is it's more targeted and mature, which naturally just gives them different lines that they can run up until. Like let's say for example, a story. So let's take a storyline about I don't know, a backstage assault, for example. WWE could take it as you show the person backstage who's laying down on the floor with couple of chairs and stuff around them. That's fine. That's still like conveys the message and still keeps within your audience's perspective. It still keeps within your line. AEW could push that further and could have like the person like heavily bleeding and like in like a really bad state, and it could look far more violent. Because their line is further. The line is more on the mature side. and like you could use storylines involving like sexuality and things. WWE probably couldn't get away with anywhere near as much as AEW could, despite running in the same time period. But they could both get away with more now than they could even 5 years ago, just because of the nature of society. But they could have, like, say, WCW and WWE could have got away with a hell of a lot more in the 90s than, say, they would have done nowadays. It's a very interesting thing, and I always appreciate the topic of it and watching how things change in society as to what's more acceptable in more of a mass audience perspective and what isn't. Especially in wrestling where the rules are a bit all over the place. Let's say the Ricochet thing that we brought up, that was him being incredibly dumb, and I don't think he'd have got away with that even in like the height of like the Attitude Era, say for example, if somebody did that. I don't think you'd have got away with mocking somebody with a serious illness like that. Oh god, Jericho might be about to win. I should definitely lock in, be paying far more attention to this. Here we go. See if this beats Christian. It didn't. Oh wow, okay. Jericho kicked out at 2 from just a generic backdrop. Christian kicked out at 1 from my finish. Christian, this isn't even your main event run. This is nowhere near your main event run. Still generic tag guy, Christian. I say generic tag guy. Just beat the snot out of him. No, Kurt, leave me alone. Shoulder tackles. Here we go. Got to beat him down. No, Christian. Stop reversing me. Yeah, get chokeslammed. Jericho's just sending people to divorce court. There we go. Take him down again. Why is he just never stunned? Bulldogs. Both those two have finishes. That's scary. Yeah, get tombstoned. Kurt, don't pay attention to me. Here we go. Drop it, Christian again. Second last ride. There we go. See, you two had perfect opportunities to use your finishes and you didn't take them. Dummies. I believe how much I just rambled about like, where lines are in entertainment. Sorry, I had to lock in though at the end. Well, we got to run into Smackdown. We got to run Smackdown. Oh, again, a main event and a multi-man match. This is an interesting one. Don't know why they keep putting me in multi-man matches as Taker. We're in June. That should make us King of the Ring time? Question mark? I think we're King of the Ring time. The ass is here. The ass has arrived. Daddy ass has arrived. That's actually probably another example of what you can and can't get away with in like the difference between WWE and AEW. Daddy ass would get over in AEW. Nowadays WWE probably wouldn't get away with it. Go back to like the 2000s and stuff, and they obviously would, because where did he get the nickname of Mr. Ass in the first place? The WWE. But a different time period. Go on, Cassidy. Damn it. Steve Blackman, he's on the attack, man. Oh, sorry, Steve fucking Blackman. He's on the attack, man. I don't know if I bring this up every time he shows up, but you'll notice that his nickname is misspelled in No Mercy. Go and look at his entrance in the N64 No Mercy, and you'll see his nickname is misspelled. It's actually quite comical. I was paying so little attention. Who are we fighting? Oh, right. Yeah, we're fighting Joey Abs. That's fine. We could take on Joey Abs. I believe. The one member of the Mean Street Posse that at this point could actually wrestle. Somewhat. A little bit. I guess. He could do moves. A few. What was it? The NL boys called his moonsault. Moons over my Abbey. I'm going to stretch him out. Stretch him out. Al Snow, submission specialist. What? Well, that worked. Trapping headbutts. Right in those piercings. We're still mad that you're allowed to wear those in ring. I have no idea how Albert got away with it so long without, like, ripping open half of his face. Get off me. Roll up, kind of. Really not doing well, are you, Joey? Cookie to crunch. He really isn't doing well. Oh no, I got suplexed. He got a move. Which I immediately no-sold. Jawbreak it. I'll franchise her even. Fine, this is what I used to choke out Stevie Richards. Back to the headbutts. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe we choke you out again. Never mind. How did I miss that? Well, that's working out nicely. Choke him out again. Choke him out. Really? That worked out tremendously for you, Pete Gas. No, let's not do this, shall we, Pete? Nuh-uh. Oh, he caught my super kick. Oh God, gas mask. Done better than you did. Really? Really? Oh, he saw my weird elbow coming. Well, now you just get snowplowed. Center of the ring. Surprised I didn't knock you out.
1, 2, 3.
Just so fast-paced. I do miss this style of wrestling game where things just get so fast-paced. Very arcadey. Ugh, nearly dropping a controller. So I have the second controller sat on my lap. Oh, a battle royal in. Matt Hardy gone, Tazz gone, Angle gone, Rikishi wins. Shockingly. It's the feud that never ends. Too Cool versus Dean Malenko for the light heavyweight championship. It's been going on forever. It's like there's nobody else in the division. Because nobody else in the division gets booked in order to get any wins to get a title shot. I need to speak with you, The Rock. Wait. I like how he just refers to him as The Rock. I need to speak with you, The Rock. Not even Rocky or Dwayne. Don't think they'd revealed his name's Dwayne at this point on TV. Whoa, wow, that was like so fast. The ass versus the thighs. The feud that ruined Billy Gunn's push. I think Billy Gunn could have made it to like the main event scene if they'd have kept like a manager with him, you know? Because promos were his weakest point. He could talk, but it wasn't like great. And then you put him in there like feuding with The Rock, it wouldn't have worked. If they'd have kept like Road Dogg with him, but let Road Dogg be like his mouthpiece while Billy had like a singles run, I think that would have worked tremendously. Because Road Dogg obviously could work, so he could still play off him and work great. But I think that would have been a way to save Billy Gunn's singles run. Would have been make it be a semi-singles run. As in a manager type person would work so well for Billy. In the ring there was no issues. The second he had mic battles with The Rock, that was it. Must have twisted my knee pretty bad. Just that whole thing of, God, yes, but what was it? Yeah, yes, Bucky, my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is. It was done. It was over. There was no coming back. Oh God, Shawn and Shane. I'm facing I'm facing SM and SM. Two of Vince's favourite sons. Blank screen of doom. I have to keep hammering the start button to skip the entrances. It's a cool idea for entrances, but when copyright became a thing, it just fucked you over. Alright. There we go. Take Shawn down, apparently. And again, not who I was aiming for. How the hell did Shawn catch me there? There we go, finally hit Shane. Went for the big Larrys. Larry! Oh, come on. There we go. Here. Eat barricade. There, hit everybody, take a dive. And again. Oh, no, that didn't work. Turn into a baseball slide instead. Catch me! Kind of. DDT. Dropping Shane like a bad habit. No! Leave my arms alone. I need those for arm things. There you go, just take everybody out. Why the hell not? Wreck that knee. You don't need it. Knees are overrated. Nice dodge there, Shane. That was entirely unintentional, but it was kind of cool. Damn it. And there you go, get pump handled. Sounds wrong on so many levels. Tombstone him! Tombstone him! Drop him on the noggin. Stack her dimes, he calls her neck. God just sent Shane flying. Oh, alright. No. Get DDT'd. Scorpion death dropped even. Chokeslam him. And now you get chokeslam too, because why the hell not? Oh wow. Everybody's out. Oh god, now they're teaming up on me. No. No! That almost went horribly wrong. Oh god, bye! Again, Shane goes flying. Get pump handled. What the? Shane. Stop with the unintentional dodges. Oh god, everybody's down. Atomic drop. Round that asshole. Missed. There you go, send you all flying. Oh. Not what I intended to do, so... It's hard to tell who I'm facing half the time. Okay. I now have a secret plan. Which is not very secret. It's probably very obvious to anyone who's watching. Shawn. Down. Shane. Nope, that didn't. Shawn just no-sold the last ride. Ow. Rude. No. Got him. On the butthole. Alright, bye then. There we go, Shawn. No sell this. Alright, well that worked. Surprisingly well, actually. Just drop him. Here, no, okay. No selling again. I like how I'm just kind of ignoring Shane. Here, taking it the last ride. There we go. I wanted to last ride both of them and then pin one of them, but Shawn just decided to no sell it. Because of course we're in Shawn's asshole era. You know, his favourite thing to do is no-sell everything. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode. So thank you everybody so much for joining me in this one. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Before that, hold the phone. Hold your britches. The next event, 8 of today's top young superstars will do battle to determine who will be the king of the ring. Let's see who's going to end up in that one on the next episode. But for now, that is going to do it for this one, everybody. So thank you so much for joining me in this one. It's been a genuine pleasure as per usual. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill, all the fun stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.